Hey there! Today is day 35 of the Draw the Circle Prayer Challenge. And on today, the conversation was the longest lever. And it came out of Zechariah, the 4th chapter, where it speaks of not despising starting small and how something can grow to something grand, but it starts small. I mean, even consider our majestic trees. They used to be the seed of an acorn. And then here they are just growing and providing us with covering and shelter. Jill and I started talking about that process, and we continued on the conversation that started last night about how when you put your prayers down as the root and you ground everything in prayer, set that as your foundation, what's happening below the surface is what you have planted in prayer, and then that grows and it's what comes forth. And so Dayla was talking about the strength of the roots of a tree and how it can interrupt concrete. And sometimes you'll drive down the street and you'll see that there's a tree that's along the walkway, and then the pathway is now broken up. The concrete is broken up. It's likely that beneath there the seed is growing and there's more roots being planted out. And so we don't know what's always happening below ground, because what we're looking at and what we're paying attention to is what's happening above ground. He then talked about the fact that we leverage our prayers. You know, a lever is a very simple tool, but it's designed, no matter how small or how big, the bigger the leverage, the bigger force that you have, that counterbalance force. And so, very simple tool. So is prayer. The more you pray, the more leverage you have. And so I thought it was a wonderful example that was shared in tonight's conversation, where there was a group that started with 6 having a midday prayer in New York City. And 6 is a small number, but the next time they got together, it was 14. And then the next time it grew to 23, to the point where it outgrew their upper room experience and they had to go into the sanctuary of the church. Then it outgrew the church, and there were several planted throughout the city. Then it outgrew that. And so those 6 that started small, they did not give up. They did not look at the fact that there were only 6 people and get discouraged. They continued in doing something small. Jayla talked about the fact that wonder if we know what happens when we plant that seed of prayer. They probably did not experience the growth of their prayer experience in their lifetime. And so something that you're planting on today, that legacy may live beyond you. And so we don't want to be distracted about the outcome. Just stay true to the prayer and to the purpose that God has planted in us. Starting small. The conversation concludes with a statement: if we do the ordinary, God will add an extra to it. So I'm so thankful of the reminder on tonight to don't be distracted by starting something small. Start it, put prayer around it, and let God put the purpose in it. I'm so thrilled that on tomorrow I get to join you again for day 36 of the Draw the Circle Prayer Challenge.